I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Steps up and flips it back into the Flame zone. 5 minutes into overtime in Game 5, and McDavid scores! Game winner, series winner for Connor McDavid!
Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene Edwards. You are watching Lubed. This is my game review for game number 5 of the Battle of Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers versus the Calgary Flames Western Conference semifinal matchup. Epic, epic, epic game. Epic series. So sad that it actually has to come to an end. But it officially did last night as the Edmonton Oilers are going to the Western Conference Final. They are going to face either St. Louis or Colorado, contend with them for a chance to play for the Stanley Cup. That's right, folks. They are one series away from playing for the Stanley Cup. Let's go, boys. All right, guys. Lots to talk about on this episode. We had a record-setting night on 3 separate events. We had a very controversial goal that was taken back from Calgary, and I'm going to give you my take on it. And, yeah, lots to talk about. All right. It was game number 5 for the Edmonton Oilers. Just an amazing night altogether. Some of the records that were set tonight, it was crazy. This was a crazy night. So, this game set an NHL record for the fastest 4 goals in a playoff game. There was 4 goals, and I'll break it down when I do my scoring summary where it was, that happened in 1 minute and 11 seconds. 1 minute and 11 seconds. This broke an NHL record for the fastest 4 goals by both teams in an NHL playoff game. The other record that was set as far as... the next 2 were Oiler records, not NHL records. But Hyman is the first Edmonton Oiler to score a goal in the first 5 playoff games of a series. He scored in every game in this series. He is the first Edmonton Oiler. We're going back to Curry. We're going back to Gretzky. We're going back to Anderson. All the greats. Hyman is the first Edmonton Oiler to accomplish this feat. Amazing. And then Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl has surpassed none other than Wayne Gretzky with 17 points in a playoff series. This is crazy. This Battle of Alberta was something to see. It you know what? It actually saddens me to know that it is actually over. I'm happy about the result. I'd rather not go to Game 7, but you know what I mean? Like, this was a really fun series to watch, and I think everyone thoroughly enjoyed it. Very beautiful. As far as the controversy goes that happened last night, it was a goal that was called back from Blake Coleman. I got a couple pictures here, a couple angles here from what I believe. So I too struggled on this. I really didn't know which way to waver. Because it was close. I could see Calgary's I could see Calgary's anguish on this a little bit, but where my deciding factor is if you look at these plays, Blake Coleman literally is crossing his legs over. Okay, they were saying that he was trying to stop. Well, if you're trying to stop, both your blades are going to be. I'm trying to get in. How do I get this in the angle? Both your blades are going to be kind of parallel to each other. You're not going to be crossing over your leg. That to me was where I thought, no, that was a kicking motion. It's definitely a kicking motion. And you can actually see on these pictures, like his leg literally, his leg literally is crossing the red line too. Like, it's a bit of a stretch to call it that, but this is where I feel for the Calgary fan. If he didn't do that, I think that puck would have had enough momentum to go into the net. And that's where the referees could have maybe let up on it and saying, this puck was going to go into the net regardless. It's unfortunate for Calgary. I know what it feels like back in 2017 when the Oilers were playing the Sharks. Everyone in Edmonton, at least, remembers Cam Talbot's goalie interference where they held his glove and whatever. It pissed off a lot of people on that. And that was a lot more blatantly, obviously. This was close. I see Calgary's side of things on this, so I kind of get it. But the fact that the legs cross over, to me, is a very distinct kicking motion. And his eyes were on the puck at all times. He knew what he was doing. He was trying to cover up a kick, and he almost got away with it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't counted as a goal. We go to overtime where Connor McDavid does his thing. The series is over in 5 games. That was the one thing that surprised me. I did not expect this series to go only 5 games. So now the Oilers are going to have a little bit of a rest. They're going to face either Colorado or the St. Louis Blues. We don't know yet. As far as I know right now, the St. Louis Blues are actually leading the Colorado Avalanche 2-1 after the second period. St. Louis is putting up a fight. They are putting up a fight, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of that series. I don't suspect this series to start for a few days, so I got a few days off. But yeah, we're going to dive right into the Western Conference Finals sometime next week between either St. Louis and or Colorado Avalanche. And then it's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning facing either the Rangers or the Hurricanes, which I believe they play tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Let's get into the scoring summary of this game that happened. So in the first period at 10:13, Andrew Manapanje gets the first goal for the Flames from Michael Backlund and Blake Coleman. It is 1-0. Michael Backlund scores in the second period at 5:41 from Michael Stone and Coleman. 2-0 Calgary. I'm thinking, kind of figured, because I honestly didn't think the Oilers were going to win this game. Then it was Darnell Nurse scoring his second from Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman. And it's a 2-1 game. And you can feel the momentum starting to change a little bit towards the Oilers. And then look who shows up. Jesse Puljujarvi. He gets his second of the playoffs. I think the last time he scored was like in Game 4 or Game 3 of the LA series. So it was a while. Whatever. He shows up. It is now 2-2. Now here's where the craziness commences. This is where we have 3 goals in a minute and 11 seconds. Or 4 goals. 4 goals in a minute and 11 seconds. It starts with Zach Hyman on the power play, getting the Edmonton Oilers a lead from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Leon Draisaitl, 3-2 Edmonton. Right quick response. Johnny Gaudreau ties up the game from Oliver Shillington, and I'm freaking peed right now. I'm like, oh, they just gave up the lead. They finally got the lead, and they gave it up. Then Calgary retains the lead with Kalle Yarnik, his first of the playoffs from Nikita Zadorov. It is now 4-3, and I'm fuming. Like, oh, they blew it. No, they didn't, because Evan Bouchard at 16:08 gets the last and final goal of this crazy 1 minute and 11 seconds. We have a 4-4 tie. It goes to the third period. Blake Coleman scores, but then it gets called back. No goal. Distinct kicking motion is what the referees ruled it. It goes to overtime where Connor McDavid gets his 7th goal of the playoffs, assisted by Leon Draisaitl, his 19th assist, at 5:03 of overtime. The Oilers have defeated the Calgary Flames in 5 games. And not much more to say about that. This was an epic Battle of Alberta. If any of you guys out there had tickets to this, whether it was at the Saddle Dome or at the Rogers Place in Edmonton, I envy you because you guys were really given a treat. This is what hockey is all about. This is what makes hockey fun. This was a good series, and believe it or not, it wasn't as rough as I thought it would be. I thought, to be honest with you, I think maybe the LA series was a little bit rougher on the Oilers, but yeah. Now I'm going to break down some numbers here for the playoff. Oh, actually, let me get into the stats, and then I'm going to break down the numbers. We're going to get into the stats first. So, as far as shots on goal, very close, 36-35. Hits, 28-23. Face-offs, Calgary, once again, 2/3 of the face-offs were won by the Flames, 66.7% on the dot. Power play opportunities, there was only 3 of them. Edmonton was 1 for 1 on it. Calgary was 0 for 2. What else do we got? Block shots, Edmonton really sacrificing the body, 19-13. Takeaways, Calgary led that department quite a bit, 17-6. And giveaways, Edmonton was actually pretty stingy on that department as they only gave the puck away 10 times. Calgary gave it away 18 times. Your 3 stars in this game was Zach Hyman, 1 goal, 2 assists. Again, being the first Edmonton Oiler to score in the first 5 games of a playoff series. Then it was Connor McDavid, 1 goal, but it was the one that really counted, the overtime winner. And then Michael Backlund is your 3rd star, 1 goal and 1 assist for Calgary. Here is the numbers that I want to crunch for the playoffs so far. Just for you guys to chew on and digest this, because this is some pretty interesting numbers. For points, your point leaders in the playoffs, it is Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid tied for first place with 26 points. Your next highest point leader is in a 3-way tie. It's Kucherov, Zibanejad, and guess who? Evander Kane. So we have a 1, 2, and 3 in your top points right now as it stands in these playoffs. For goals, Evander Kane is the top dog with 12, followed by David Perron of St. Louis and Nathan McKinnon with 8. David Perron has 9, by the way. Like, what an amazing team. How are they going to sign Evander Kane? I really want to see how they work this one out. I'm pretty sure he will be returning to the Oilers unless he really doesn't want to play here, which I can't see that. Anyway, guys, that is all I have for you tonight. We are going to the Western Conference Final. And to see the elation on Connor McDavid's face after all those frustrating playoff years, the 1-game win against Chicago in the bubble year, last year's sweep to the Jets. When he scored that overtime winner yesterday, the emotion on his face told it all. Like, it really told the story. So, guys, I will be back with a preview on the Western Conference Final once we find out who the Oilers will be matched up with. You guys have a great and fantastic weekend. I know I definitely am. Way to go, boys. You made this old man proud. All right. You guys have a great night. Oiler fans, the #1 fan base in North America. If you guys like the content that Sammy and I bring you, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and leave messages in the comment section below. We will talk to you soon. Have a great night.